What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brendan and I'm BMax45 and today we're coming at you with another video. We have another battle report update for the February 22nd Ultimate Cup we were just in from Carta Magica. We went 4, 1, and 3. Unfortunately, just bubbling out of top 64, getting 65th place. Really unfortunate. Still get top 128 prizing, but yeah, just missed it by 1. So that was unfortunate. And then even too, like I was really hoping I might just make top 32. It was an 8-round tournament. We didn't go the 9 rounds. And I had the 3 losses and 1 tie, which, you know, I knew if I had 2 losses and a tie, there was a chance I could make top 32. So that last match, it was down to the wire. And unfortunately, just with the matchups and how things went, I kind of used all my luck in the morning and ran out late into the day, unfortunately. But we're going to go through it. We're going to talk about the deck, which is, of course, as you can see, Purple Hybrid that we played. We're going to talk about the matchups, how things went, what things went right, what things didn't really go that good, and yeah, and we'll get into it as always, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. As we always try to bring you these battle report updates as soon as we do the tournaments, and there's going to probably be a lot less of them this year because it seems like there's a lot less online tournaments, so I won't be able to give you as many battle report updates. But hey, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of the fun. All right, well, without further ado, let's jump right in here. And Purple Hybrid, right? We have the eggs here. We'll scroll down. Digimon, Cupie. I do like the Cupie. I still like Digimon more, but I think the 3-2 splits are actually really good, really classy. I think it helps you later into the game when you've got your engine going. Just gain memory in order to finish that OTK or finish that, like, you know, being able to kill your opponent. So I do like it like that. There's... of course, you play the Uko engine, play the 2 Gazi, 2 Gabu, and 2 Sayaku. I really like Sayaku, really, really good card. Just being able to do double draw on deletion, draw trash 1. Super, super good. Really good combo. And I do like, you know, it works out, you know, having 2 of each of these. Pretty good. Especially because this one's really nice to go into a Duskmon in the back if you absolutely have to. Of course, we have the Guillemon, Rush Guillemon here. It's a really good card. Like to have that at 1 because it helps with the OTK. So I wouldn't change the rookie lineup really at all. Duskmon and RizeGreymon, 4 of each. You got to have them. I'm not playing a... what is it? I'm not playing the Kaiser Leo anymore. I just don't think it's worth it. Ginkakumon promo, super good, being able to rush, especially after you've used like a Koichi and stuff like that once before, super good, and it gets you your RizeGreymon inheritable, so that's really good too, so I do like that as well. Argomon, this guy actually came in clutch at one point. I was able to do the Argomon finally. I believe it's a good one of. I wouldn't really run it more than one of, I know some people run it too. Yeah. Nidhogg's so great, trashing for memory. You know, I'd potentially like to play this at 3, but honestly, I like the deck's how it's running so much. I just don't see I could have the room for it. I'd hate to clog this in your hand early game. So Nidhogg at 2 is great. 3 would be even better, but I'm not really sure I'd want to try that. Lastly, we have Gallant and Medieval. Gallantmon came up a number of times today. Medieval didn't come up at all. I just never... You know, I had such good control that I never really found like I had a time when my opponent had multiple monsters on the board and I had an access of memory. So unfortunately with that, I would say I just don't know if Medieval's really that good in this deck. It is good if it comes up, but you got to be playing against the right deck, and I really never felt like I was playing against the right deck. So that was unfortunate. There's a couple times where I thought I could play him, but it just wouldn't have been that good, and my opponent would have been able to just come back, Digivolve up, and, you know, you didn't have to play anything. So that was kind of where I was kind of like, okay, no, it's not going to really do anything. And then Tamers, I love the Tamer lineup, 4 Koichis, 2 of the newer ones, 3 Matt, perfect, Louis, yes, and Ayamako. I was going to play Digimon Emperor, but this card's just so good, being able to search out your Duskmon and put those Deathlingers and Rivals back on the top of the deck so that you can actually get your effects off, your mill effects off. it's just so good, and I like the iMako, and you can even Digivolve on it, so that's really good too. So Digimon Tamer is pretty easy to play around, so I feel like iMako gives it more value, especially if you can get more than one memory off of it. And then of course, like I said, we're playing the rivals, the Deathslinger. I like more rivals and less Deathslinger. Might even think about, I might even think about putting this back to 4, but I like having at least 2 Deathslinger. That way you have kind of that lower cost option if you have to blow something up. Missed Memory Boost. I like it at 2, and I'm playing 1 Purple Memory Boost just to dig a little bit deeper. I don't like putting Tamers on the bottom of the deck, so that's why I would rather run 2 of that and 1 of that. Jack Raid, you got to run at 4. It's just too good. It's too good in security. It's too good in your hand. You just got to have them. And then, of course, Calling from Darkness. It's limited for a reason. So the deck's pretty simple, pretty basic here. I don't see many changes I would really make. If anything, I might slide this in for a Death X, and I might cut something for another Rivals, but I honestly don't know what I would cut for a 4th Rivals. Yeah, I just like everything the way it is. And the deck did fare pretty well. But let's get into the matchups, and we'll talk about what happened in the day. So round 1, I had a no-show. Actually, after the 10-minute mark, I looked up, reported because my opponent wasn't there. And then I looked at the table above mine, and it looks like my opponent might have gone to the wrong table. So hopefully that wasn't, he never messaged me or anything like that. So hopefully that wasn't a rude awakening from him. I didn't see it until afterwards. So that's unfortunate, but that's why you make sure you check the table you're on. So no show, got a free win. Round 2, I went 2-0 against the Dark Masters Chaosmon variant. I didn't really get to see him go into his plays because unfortunately he needed his option card, and I managed both turns on both games we played to turn both his analog use into non-white colored cards. So literally he could not do anything with his deck. So that was unfortunate, and it's just how it goes with the deck. Really great, really nice player. So it was a really fun match, but I kind of shut his deck down, and that was kind of the unfortunate thing. Purple Hybrid is a busted deck. I completely agree with that. But really fun match. So I was like, I'm hoping to play that guy again. Round 3, as my first loss, I went 2-0 against the mirror match. Just didn't get enough steam, unlike my opponent. I think the first game was kind of one-sided. The second game was pretty close. I just couldn't do it, and he just got the advantage before me. Round 4 was Magna X, went 2-0. I turboed him as hard as I could both games. First game, don't think he even managed to put down a Magna X. Maybe he did. I just turboed right through it and got all the checks. In the second game, basically the same thing. I knew I needed to kill him as fast as possible before Magna X went off. So that was actually pretty good. I was able to do that. Round 5, I faced a Gallant X player. He did not have the best luck in hands. Like the second game, I managed to kill him pretty quick. The first game, the second game, he didn't even draw a rookie for a while. So things were not going that great for him. They went a little bit better for me in the second game. So I was, he had to hard play a Growl X. So that was unfortunate. I don't think I even was able to kill it. But yeah, just still an unfortunate play. Then going off of that into round 6, I went against Imperial Dramon. I tied in time in game 3. Probably would have lost that game 3. I would have won game 2. I won game 1. I would have won game 2 had I milled a Matashita. He actually sent my first Matashita to the bottom of the deck with Hexablow. Hexablow is such an awesome card. It just destroys your day. I had 2 Koichis on board and a mat. So he bottom decks the mat because bottom decking the Koichi's not going to do anything. And then sets me to as close to 1 as possible. I end up playing another mat. I end up playing another mat just so I can get the Memory Tamer back because I need it in order to be able to do my plays. And then I didn't have another mat. And then when the next turn, he basically had me down to 1 memory, and I had to basically go all in, or else I was going to lose. And I was able to really dig deep, go through multiple security cards, but I needed one more attack. It could have been the Gyo Rush. It could have been another Duskmon on a Koichi, because I had so many Koichis on the board. That I think I actually had like 3 Koichis on the board by the at the start of the turn, because he hit another one. So I had enough Koichis, I had enough steam to be able to attack multiple times. I just didn't have. I actually had to go. I had to go Duskmon into Velgramon into Duskmon into Velgramon with my memory in order to attack and kill his Hexablow. So that just limited me, because I didn't have any Duskmons in hand, and I was able to add one back with a mat play, and then I had the memory. I just didn't have the Duskmon. And I didn't have a Guilmon. I had enough memory to play the Gallantmon for free. I just needed 2 attacks basically, and unfortunately, I just couldn't. Even with I had a bunch of good Jack raids giving me memory, but I needed basically what would have happened had I been able to play the mat. What happened is when I went into my second Duskmon Velgramon combo. I was only going to mill 1. I drew the mat and then I milled a card. So had I not drawn the mat, I would have been able to trash the mat, unfortunately. And then I would have been able to play it off of the deletion of the Velgramon. And then I would have been able to either put anything in my hand, right? I could put the Guilmon in my hand. I could put the Duskmon in my hand. Either way, I would have been had enough to have 2 more swings with the free Gallantmon. So, yeah, it just turned out that I just drew the wrong card, and again, because he put that first mat on the bottom of the deck, that really is what kind of sealed it away for me. So I did lose that matchup. Went into time, so it was a tie, but I probably would have lost that matchup. The third one, Superior One's a hard matchup against this deck, because if it goes super fast, you got to go super fast, so you got to have your pieces, and that's the thing. Your deck I feel like this deck has a better opening, because it's just later game. If you don't draw into your other pieces that you need, it has a worse late game, whereas Imperial has a better late game, because it's just constantly draw. Draw. The deck draws so phenomenally that it has a hard early game sometimes if you don't have your pieces, but once you get to that point where you're drawing everything, it has a really good late game. So I feel like that's where you need to kill Imperial as fast as possible. So I was unfortunate. At the point I got to round 5, I was like, I need to win at least 1 more, and hopefully then I can get top 32. Maybe I would have had to win 2, or at least win 1 and tie 1. I'm not sure how that would have gone out, because it was only 8 rounds instead of 9. And I know with a 9-round tournament, if you get 6 wins, 2 losses, and a tie, you get top 32. And I think even with 3 losses, you probably are going to get top 32. But so that was my tie, so I wasn't feeling too bad. Then unfortunately in round 7, I went against Pure Lugomon OTK and got OTK'd hard. 2-0'd so fast. He got all his pieces every single time, just getting all his pieces and getting everything he needed right off the bat. And I had brick hands. I had 2 of the brick hands that I'd had all day, and I just could barely get to my stuff. And so yeah, that was unfortunate. And I had to do stupid moves that I hate, like play Rivals Barrage when I'm at 1, or when I was at 0, to kill his Soul Lugramon, just so that he could go do the whole play again. So it's not fun when stuff like that happens. So it just, he started off really, really well, and I did not. So you think that I'd have a good match against like Pure Lugomon, but apparently not. And then round 8, the last round, I was hoping for a win because I was hoping that could get me top 32. Maybe it couldn't. Like I said, with 8 rounds, it's a little bit different. But I got 2-0'd against Gallant X. This guy drew the nuts. That's all I can say. He just had every piece. He had proto form, start of game, both games. He just had everything. And again, having to play like really bad plays. Like, actually, no, I don't think I did. Maybe I did after Rivals, a Soul Lugermon. Either way, I had really bad plays against the Lugermon player, but I think it was I had to Rise a Wargrey X. I had to Rivals a Wargrey X, give him 7 memory with a guy in the back and a whole bunch of other stuff on the board, and being able to float a Guillaumon with his inheritable from Growlex. So that was unfortunate. Yeah, it was not good. Again, subpar hands. I really lost the last 2 games because of subpar hands. Really subpar. Really hard, just not getting my pieces until it was already too late, and just my opponent just having really good hands. I hit, like, some of my security hits today were ridiculous. Like, first security hit, hitting Blitz Tocado twice on both games, and then I think my Luga hits weren't that bad, but I had some pretty bad hits today. I think the mirror match, I hit all his good stuff, and he hit none of mine. So that was unfortunate as well. So that was sometimes you really lose to security, and there's a couple matches today where I was like, I lost to security hard. So that was an unfortunate part, but I had fun. It was really good. 8 rounds, wasn't too long. Probably not going to be able to doing a lot of these because they're not offering a lot of online tournaments. I'm hoping that they change that. I only have 1 Ultimate Cup of the new Ultimate Cups in April, and that's only supposed to be like a 64-person event, so I'm not even sure how that's working yet. But I'm hoping for more events and ways to win more. I'm unfortunately going to have to buy those last 2 RizeGreymons because I ain't winning them. And I was hoping to win at least 64 so that I would be able to use sales of Geogray and the Agumon to help pay for that last one, but I'll only have the Agumon because I bubbled out. So that was unfortunate. 65th place. It's kind of salty when you bubble out, especially if it's just by 1. But that's the break sometimes. But we keep playing, and hopefully we'll have some new decks to bring you the next time we do a battle report. I'm really looking forward to Red Green Imperial, or not Red Green, Red Purple Imperial, Virus Imperial, and there's so many other decks I'm looking forward to. So I just can't wait to see what 2.5 brings with BT20. I've basically forgot about BT19, but even with the new Growlmon stuff, maybe I'll try Gallantmon again now when we got the Raid Tocado. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are about all of this. Did you like the build? Did you think I did well? Do you think I made some pretty bad misplays? I made a couple misplays a couple times with Louis, forgetting to, and I did get Rule Sharked on the Ukomon at one point because I forgot to, this guy is way easier to do. You do his effect and then but I did get Rule Sharked on an Ukomon at one point, so that was unfortunate. And it's, so hopefully just remember to slow down sometimes, make sure you do your effects in the proper order. Sometimes when people, when the game's getting to the end of the thing, people start getting they're like, come on, and they kind of push you into going faster, and I don't really like that as a general thing. I think you give people the appropriate amount of time. If they're actually stalling, they have nothing to do, but if it takes them a couple minutes to go, okay, this is what I can do, and then they do an actual play, then you can't really complain because they had the ability to do that. They just needed to see it. And I really don't like when people are kind of like, okay, I'm going to just harp on people. I don't harp on people. I will tell them, hey, I just want you to know, take your time, but we are getting down, 10 minutes and stuff like that. I don't try to force people. I just said, hey, I just want you to know we're at 10 minutes, but continue your turn. And it's up to them to make that distinction, whether they think they're, going, slow or fast. But when people kind of harp on you, that's when it gets a little bit frustrating because you're trying to work your way out of a situation. And I've worked my way out of some pretty awful situations in this game. just by thinking it out, just giving myself a little bit of time to think it out. So if people are not interested in doing that, then they're not really interested in playing the card game, because they're only interested in winning and not learning something. And honestly, if you only care about winning and not learning something, then you're probably the wrong card game for you. But looks like that's all the time we have for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you in the next video. As always, have a wonderful day. And that's all for now, folks.